Welcome to the Two Boots Word Vault podcast. On February 22nd, 2026, Minnesota poet Michael Moos joined poets Donna, Maureen, Skelly, and me for a Cottage Salon poetry scrum. Here's Michael's initial poetry segment. Well, I get to have my good old friend Michael Moos. What are you going to read from today? You're going to read from the later?
I'm going to read some winter poems from my book, The Idea of the Garden, and then I'm going to read some new poems.
Great, good. Michael Moos.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you all for being here. I'm just amazed again and again how poetry and music brings us together. And as you know, we need each other. Some winter poems from my book, The Idea of the Garden.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphs. Winter night, no wind. Wing prints mark a sudden scuffle in the deep body of the snow's memory, and drops of bright blood signal the ordinary archaeology of loss. We drift off to sleep in our beds, wrapped up tight in the blankets of our own concerns, below the waning moon slipping quietly into dispassion. No wind, just a few stars again. Carefully now, rabbits are beginning to dance their courtship ritual, a silent hieroglyph of desire written late on the snow. Their shadows dancing where their old ones have gone, breaking the moonlight under the dark pines into gestures of rising, echoing the patience of apple blossoms, patience of paths turning to dust, under the long ice crawling over the animal back of the land, still reverent in the undeciphered darkness. And if heaven does not exist, when we leave pain and sky and earth behind, leave consciousness, the sweat beads of hesitation, snow glistening on each branch, lifting you out of your body into the darkness, past the sound breaking over cars and roads, the fear that accompanies knowledge, click of locked doors, voices of small birds following the signature of the wind, the beauty of decay, the beauty of tragedy, the Pleiades shifting in the mind like a pulsing code, drawing you into their meadow, their silence. Lord of the sigh, we are not ready to feel you singing in our days. Winter lilacs. where the goldfinch perches in his quiet plumage, making a concert out of her early morning hunger, where ivory lichen clings to the gnarled bark of our winter lilacs. In the middle of the night, I thought of the mourning dove hidden in the blue spruce boughs, waiting for early sunlight. This far north, and only soft gray feathers against the cold. Imagine the shrew's thought, scurrying around in his icy tunnels, dancing for survival in a tango with his endless hunger. I don't know if he pictures a time free of suffering, if he is lonely in the deep rooms of winter, under Orion and the crescent moon pausing in the deep room of winter, like a strange lovers caught in the hunger of stones and silent stars, the endless repetition of stars caught in a thirst for something you cannot name, as snow comes back in steady streaks of wet light between the pine needles, something made of light falling through the darkness you carry deep within, as you seek the cleansing seductions of the moon, not death or wingless regret, as you seek peace, rising somewhere, opening into the silence of the day, opening like a door. In the heart of winter, as if death were only an idea, below sky the color of gravestone granite, slowly disappearing, worn snow gives way to islands of dry winter grass, reaching into the cold ground, under the bare black walnut and ash trees. A cardinal wakes you with his clear voice, calling to his mate, near the river wrapped in willows turning gold in the heart of winter. In our separate silence, I watch the slow wings of winter robins rise beyond the day's feast of hardships, their voices carrying hope, a reverie that may not last in the dense thickets of February, even high in sheltered sun. Soon the Cooper's hawk will sail low over the backyard, freezing everything into stillness, as if time does not exist, as if something in the mind waits for the body to give in. And these are some new poems. I'll read this one for Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
Yeah.
We suture our fears. We suture our fears with bird song and this morning's light. As the milkweed's dark seeds fall out of their dry husks, where does the soul hide when bloodshed on our city streets becomes common? On your walk across the bridge, you notice two bald eagles reading the river from their perch in a bare cottonwood. You take what you are given, grateful that the years of persistent DDT have receded, we take what we are given, try to make something that could last, returning it to the wind. Not Archaeopteryx, not fossils of an ancient bird held in your hand briefly, like the memory of someone now gone. You listen to the silence. The birds lift off, their bodies held in the shape of soaring. Morning cloak again. A January thaw means that the mergansers could appear again on the Mississippi in this dark time, diving into relentless current in search of small fish to take away their hunger. Is the wild beauty around us blind? Or does it see you walking down the icy street, your arms loaded with windfall branches, to build a small fire on the bank of the winter river? Is the soul just a migrant camped in the foreign body of a country? What does the sky, gray or clear, ask us each morning when we wake from our troubled sleep? Can you find that place again where a rocky slope leads down to the small creek, where a morning cloak waits under the sheltering duff of last summer's leaves? If I say, I will be there for you, I will carry you across the dark field, will you promise the same for me? And I'll close this set of mine with a spring conversation with Wang Wei. We see further into the dark than we can reach. The Hubble telescope reads chemical signatures of blue-green algae light years away, the distance between worlds. Your eyes search out the mother hawk hunkered down in the nest, trying to keep her young chicks warm. You can see her wild dark eye looking back at you, while quick gusts of wind brush the bare branches of the nest she and her mate have placed just so, week after week. With each small act, each word or silence, we make choices that change our lives. It is not the arriving at compassion alone, but seeing something larger than yourself, closing your eyes, letting the darkness go. Will we hit a wall when the expanding dark reaches its destiny? Or are we riding a pulse of starlight leading back to the echo of time's beginning? This morning, for instance, walking slowly across mossy ground above the faint creek, you were having an old conversation with Wang Wei. Something about returning to life in spring. More than 1,000 years between our voices.
That's why I like to invite poets.